from Wingate University and WUTV. This is Wingate Today.
I can still faintly hear a distant echo of those whispers from my dear mother's kitchen, and they gently remind me, too soon, tomorrow comes.
North Carolina's longest-serving president remembers his mother's advice not to rush too fast into the future. Jerry McGee concludes his career at Wingate University, while a record number of graduates begin theirs. Hello and welcome to Wingate Today. I'm Jeff Atkinson. Retiring Wingate President Dr. Jerry McGee was the keynote speaker at the 119th Commencement. He stepped down May 31 after 23 years. McGee oversaw a college budget of $10 million when he arrived. Today it's north of $89 million. But the lives he and others impacted, you can't put a price on.
Justin Michael Falls.
Unlike the other graduates, President McGee came to him, Justin Falls of Gastonia, receiving his Doctor of Pharmacy, a day he would have only imagined 9 years ago. In 2006, Justin Falls suffered a broken neck and spinal cord injury from a fall. His legs were paralyzed. He lost the use of his right hand. But the injury didn't stop him. In fact, it made him stronger. A year and a half ago, he competed in a competition called the Tough Mudder in Charlotte that involved crawling through mud tunnels and scaling 15-foot walls. Falls stayed in school at Wingate, got his bachelor's degree, and now has his doctorate.
It's just such an achievement, you know. It's so much time that I put into it, 8 years when I look back. And just the fact that so few people hold this degree, nothing can stop you if you don't want it to.
A theme that would carry through the day. 613 graduates made up Wingate's class of 2015, the university's largest. Also the largest crowd on hand, 6,500 gathered in the academic quad. There were other firsts. The first pharmacy graduates to come out of the Hendersonville campus, largest physician assistant studies class, largest nursing class, first graduates with a political science major, first with an entrepreneurship minor. Communications major Jasmine DeBerry of Charlotte came to Wingate to play sports. She found a family that she'll never forget.
This experience has been one of the best things in my life. I got to travel, see the world on 2 different occasions, met some lifelong friends. So I'm excited to leave and sad to say goodbye to Wingate.
DeBerry, one of 8 students singled out for excellence at Wingate. Outstanding faculty members were recognized as well. Retiring education professor Dr. Beth Murray received the Charles and Hazel Courts Award for Excellence in Teaching.
Of any award I might receive, it's probably means more to me than anything, because no matter what my position has been at Wingate, I've always seen myself as a teacher.
2 honorary degrees were awarded. Tom Williams, a 1961 alum and lifetime member of the Wingate Board of Trustees, and Alan Lehman, friend and supporter of the university for 23 years. On Jerry McGee's watch, there have been 7,888 graduates. 23 years at the college, now university, Dr. McGee conferred the last associate's degree and the first doctorate. He has, in fact, conferred 65% of all bachelor's degrees in Wingate history and 97% of all graduate-level degrees. It was also announced at commencement that McGee will become President Emeritus, the first in the university's history. In the days leading up to graduation, academic hooding ceremonies were held. Graduates in the Master of Accounting program were recognized in an event at the Jesse Helms Center in Wingate. Among the 13 graduates in the MAC program in the Byram School of Business, former WU football standout Will Potate of Vail, North Carolina.
During football season, it was tougher trying to manage football practices and class, but it's been a great learning experience. I've really enjoyed it. I've got a lot of tools in my tool belt to use when I graduate.
The strength of our program is small, relatively small, hands-on. We have an accounting and finance lab that students do a lot of work in the lab, and that's unlike many other programs.
A master's degree in accounting gives students the opportunity to get the CPA. Graduates in the nursing department held a pinning ceremony in the recital hall. This is Wingate's second class of nursing students to complete their studies since the nursing program was restarted 3 years ago. 21 students received their BSN, Bachelor of Science in Nursing. And future education leaders, teachers, principals, superintendents, and other administrators participated in a hooding ceremony in the Batt Center. These students are receiving their Master of Arts in Education, Master of Arts in Teaching, and Doctor of Education. They were challenged in a speech by Dr. Carrie Telbert, North Carolina's Principal of the Year and a graduate of Wingate's EDD program. She dared the graduates to fall in love with education.
When you're in love with something, you work very hard for it, and it's a whole different feeling. So again, I challenge you tonight to show people how much you are in love with education.
Telbert is principal at Mooresville Middle School in Iredell County. And a final note from the class of 2015. Seeing double? That may have been what some professors thought for the last 4 years, as 6 sets of twins were among this year's graduating class. According to what we were able to dig up, it looks like 8 pairs of twins are the world's record for the most twins at any college at any one time. Opening a door to medical school for Wingate students. In May, university officials signed an agreement to partner with the Edward Via College of Osteopathic Medicine, known as VCOM, that guarantees admission to as many as 15 WU graduates each year. VCOM is a nonprofit medical school which grants the Doctor of Osteopathic Medicine degree. It's based in Blacksburg, Virginia, with campuses in Spartanburg, South Carolina, and Auburn, Alabama. VCOM specializes in training primary care physicians to work in rural areas or with underserved populations, mainly in the southern Appalachians.
We find that schools like Wingate have the greatest potential for delivering to us the kind of students that we can train into primary care doctors to serve those most in need.
This is just a huge opportunity for our students, especially those that want to go serve underprivileged areas and the underserved. And we're just really, really appreciative of this opportunity.
VCOM was founded in 2002 after a national study predicted the U.S. will experience a shortage of more than 100,000 physicians by the year 2020. Construction has begun on the long-awaited Monroe Bypass, the proposed toll road now expected to open by late 2018, according to the North Carolina DOT. The state has begun the initial clearing of the right-of-way. The 20-mile bypass around Monroe is designed to relieve congestion on U.S. Highway 74. Work crews are starting on the east side in the Marshville-Wingate area and work their way west. The $840 million project has been tied up in the courts for the last several years. While one project is revving up, on the Wingate campus, an iconic structure is being leveled to make way for progress. Here now to explain is the newest member of our team, Chuck Gordon. Welcome, Chuck.
Thanks, Jeff. Fans of flying buttresses and 50-style architecture might not call it progress. Sanders-Sikes Gymnasium is being torn down to make way for a more modern health and wellness center. That's great for students of the future, but students of the past have fond memories of the old gym. 1995 graduate Jennifer Sutton-Smith used to race her younger brother up the gym's flying buttresses.
We called them the arches, and it was great fun for us to just climb up like monkeys to see who could touch the roof first and then scamper back down.
Those buttresses anchor Sanders-Sikes no more. It's true that the Sanders-Sikes of 2015 fell far short of current students' expectations, but for 25 years it was a focal point of campus. Patty Jones played volleyball for the Bulldogs and served as manager of the women's basketball team in the mid-70s.
I was home, between the dorm and the gym. That's where I spent a lot of my time at Wingate.
Built in 1959, Sanders-Sikes was very much a product of its day.
It had that old gym smell to it. The ball made that echoing sound on the floor. Unlike the big gyms now with the big high ceilings, it had a different sound to it.
Wayne Shadrick coached the men's basketball team for 7 seasons.
You could tell what you were looking at, You were looking at a gymnasium. And back then, that's what you played in, a gymnasium. You didn't play in an arena.
Named for 2 families with long histories of supporting Wingate College, Sanders-Sikes was called ultra-modern in the 1960 Gate yearbook. In 1968, the gym was home to a thrilling 1-point basketball win over Gardner-Webb and its 7'2" phenom, Artis Gilmore. In the 80s, former students recall 5'10" James Lipscomb dunking over another of Gardner-Webb's future NBA centers, Eddie Lee Wilkins. But it wasn't all sports. Jimmy Buffett, Little River Band, and Huey Lewis and the News, big names at the time, all played Sanders-Sikes. And in the late 80s, local band The Beatniks used it as the setting for a music video. Their successor, local favorite Hard Soul Poets, rehearsed in the women's locker room.
Don't ever lie to the people. Tell them the truth.
In February of 1985, the most significant speaker in Sanders-Sikes history was greeted warmly by a packed house of 2,000. Former President Jimmy Carter charmed the crowd with tales from the White House. There was often something of a home court advantage playing under that domed roof. Shadrick coached the Bulldogs to their first victory as a 4-year institution, 2 weeks after a big loss to the same team on the road.
Now, I don't know how much of that had to do with Sanders-Sikes or how much that had to do with coaching or playing, but there was a 30-point turnaround within 2 weeks when we beat them here.
In 1986, Cannon Athletic Complex and Cuddy Arena opened for business, relegating Sanders-Sikes to spot duty. In 1989, Hurricane Hugo virtually tore the roof off the old gym. The building survived Hugo, but it's no match for progress.
My dorm was torn down shortly after I graduated. We had so much fun in there that they had to tear it down. So then you hear Sanders-Sikes is, going to be taken down. And we had a whole lot of fun in there too. So I won't tell you any other buildings we had a lot of fun in because we don't want them to be taken down.
Of course, when they are, it's nice to have a memento. And you can get yours from the Bulldog Club, which is selling pieces of the Sanders-Sikes floor as keepsakes. Just contact the athletic department and they'll set you up.
Chuck Gordon, thank you very much. Transportation and water, two of the ingredients that help put Wingate on the map. Founding fathers of the Wingate School chose this place, they then called it Ames Turnout, for it was a site along the railroad line which also contained a natural spring, crucial to support a growing community. To celebrate that history, the university built the old wellspring at the exact spot where there was a spring in the early 1900s. Paid for through the generosity of Tom and Carol Williams, the couple gathered with President and Mrs. McGee for a ribbon-cutting ceremony this summer. Tom Williams told us this place is part of his heart.
It was always a gathering place on the campus when the spring actually was here itself. I've actually had a drink out of the old spring with my grandfather right here. My grandmother, grandfather, my father, my mother, all Wingate graduates.
Still to be added, a water feature and historical markers, so visitors will know more about Wingate's founding. Officials also cut the ribbon on a new $1.5 million soccer field house. The 8,200 square foot, two-story building west of the soccer stadium boasts a large conference room, locker rooms, along with classroom space. The facility will be the envy of colleges around the country.
I'm speechless. I mean, I honestly, like I said outside, I've been in a lot of professional locker rooms in my lifetime, and nothing compares to this.
Hamill is optimistic the new digs will pay off in players' performance on the field and help in recruiting. Wingate's soccer program has enjoyed tremendous success since Hamill arrived 23 years ago. Ryan Brown joins us now. Ryan, obviously exciting times for soccer. What else is going on?
That's right, Jeff. Summer is usually a quiet time for sports on a college campus, but the Wingate Athletic Department recently held a press conference to announce the hiring of 2 new head coaches to lead the track and field and cross-country programs.
To have the opportunity to introduce 2 new coaches is a particularly special pleasure for us and a great day in Bulldog athletic history.
Wingate University Director of Athletics Steve Poston uttered those words of excitement on the hiring of Travis LaFleur as track and field head coach and Ashley Vaughn as a new head cross-country coach. LaFleur was an assistant and interim head coach this past season for the program and is looking forward to the expanded role for the future.
Just extremely exciting for me. Putting all the work in these last 3 years, it's nice that it kind of paid off for me. So it's an exciting time for me for sure.
Poston shared his thoughts on the readiness of LaFleur to take over as head coach after the interim term.
That when I first thought about hiring a new track and field coach, I was not thinking that Travis would be that person, to be honest with you. I thought that he needed a little bit more seasoning. Once I saw him in action and how his student athletes responded to him, that changed my mind pretty quickly.
Vaughn, a Union County native, comes to Wingate from UNC Charlotte and takes over a highly successful cross-country program that has a solid group of returners, some of which from the area, which excites Vaughn.
It means a lot to me, and I'm really thankful to Mr. Poston and Ms. Cadigan for giving me the opportunity. But like you said, it is a great opportunity to come home, and it provides me with a unique perspective on the campus and recruiting, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Very well qualified for what we're asking her to do. We couldn't be more excited to welcome Ashley Vaughn to the Bulldog athletic family.
Both took different routes to the position and admit that they originally didn't see themselves in this role. However, the decision became an easy one when the offer came forward.
I wanted to. I had the dream. I had no idea that it happened this soon. I'm just thankful and excited for the opportunity for sure.
No, honestly, this is not what I had in my original plans, but that's part of God's plan, and you never know where it's going to take you. It's been really cool to see how I'm going from being a walk-on at Clemson and not thinking that I would have the opportunity to be a Division I college athlete, to continue to have these doors open for me, and they've happened for a reason, and I can't wait to have an influence on these athletes I get to work with.
LaFleur becomes the second track and field coach since the program started in 2011, while Vaughn becomes the 8th cross-country coach in school history. Jeff, the first cross-country coach ever at Wingate, new president, Dr. Rhett Brown.
Ryan Brown, thanks very much. The accolades keep coming for Jerry McGee. On the Monday following commencement, members of the North Carolina House of Representatives and the North Carolina Senate paused to pay tribute to the retiring Wingate president, who sat in the gallery with his wife and family. The House clerk read a proclamation thanking McGee for his nearly 45 years of service to higher education in the Carolinas. The Senate did the same with a senatorial statement. McGee served at Richmond Community College, Gardner-Webb University, Meredith College, and Furman University before coming to Wingate in 1992.
Had not he prepared the way and raised the money to meet the challenges of a small university, to bring it up to speed like he has, to put it up there with the rest of them, with the pharmacy school, the nursing school, and all the things that he's done there, is just unbelievable.
Before the session began, there was a time to visit the House floor with family members. And later, McGee paused for pictures with leaders in the North Carolina Senate. McGee is the longest-serving college president in North Carolina. The new president, Rhett Brown, took over June 1. Our cameras were there on his first day as he held his first meeting with members of the president's cabinet. Dr. Brown is a two-time alum of the institution, has worked at Wingate since graduating in 1989. He was selected after a nationwide search with more than 200 candidates considered for the position. This summer and into the fall, President Brown will be traveling the country, meeting with alums and friends of Wingate, introducing himself. He spent some time informally with staff at the 9th Annual Staff Development Day and later shared a few remarks.
I would just, again, like to thank you for the work that you do. It matters to our students, and whatever your role, it makes the difference in their lives, their futures, and for our university.
Brown plans to address faculty and staff in a State of the University address he'll give on August 18th. Also at Staff Development Day, Wellness Coordinator Heather DeLange gave a talk titled The New Healthy. She shared that not one state in the U.S. has an obesity rate less than 20%. The New Healthy, she said, focuses on overall well-being and not just losing weight. To demonstrate simple things you can do, she got the crowd to walk around the table for 3 minutes in a desk-exercise routine.
Those who worked out for 3 minutes in the middle of their workday had more energy, felt more alert, and boost their productivity.
DeLange says exercise doesn't have to mean strictly working out. She encourages folks to find some form of activity they enjoy, like hiking, biking, or dancing. The important thing is to stick with it. And a good time to start is the summer. Dustin Eskridge joins us now to explain.
Jeff, that's right. We all know that during the summer, things slow down around a college campus. And for the last few summers, the university has sponsored what they call the Bulldog Summer Fit Club. It's an 8-week program designed to help get faculty and staff who are here during the summer into shape. And this year, we took the idea of the Bulldog Summer Fit Club to the Union County Chamber of Commerce to get their thoughts on staying in shape in the workplace.
During the school year, the gym is pretty packed, but during the summer, not so much. The summer brings quieter times around campus, and for faculty and staff, it means our day ends at 4 p.m. instead of 5.
So it's a perfect opportunity for them at the end of the workday to spend that extra hour doing something where they're active.
Mary Robison is the Assistant Director of Campus Recreation, and this year she introduced the idea of working out in pairs, or using the buddy system to reach a total of 250 minutes each week.
And it could be a trade-off. One partner can do more one week, or you can kind of be even, but the accountability is the biggest part of it.
And we caught up with some accountability partners, Sherry McCaskill and Amanda Myers from the Health Center, logging their hours for the week. And they said 250 minutes is a reasonable goal.
It's not difficult. It's pretty easy. We run in the morning and then we end up either biking or we'll go work out in the DPC, do some type of exercise at lunchtime.
And we also caught up with graduate assistant Andrew Lipscomb during one of his workouts. Between working towards his master's degree and working for the Office of Alumni Relations, there's no telling when you'll find him in the gym.
The fact that they open it up early before faculty and staff go to work and then keep it open a little bit after 4 when We're all off work for summer hours. It's pretty amazing.
So amazing, in fact, we thought it could serve as a model for area businesses looking to do something similar in their work environment. Pat Kale is the president of the Union County Chamber of Commerce.
If it works at Wingate, then I think that is a model that we ought to take a look at and maybe perhaps share with other businesses in the community.
And the Bulldog Summer Fit Club kicked off on June 1st and runs through the end of July with new challenges for faculty and staff each week. So, Jeff, I know I've been hitting the gym a few times each week. Why have I not seen you there?
You will see me there now. Thanks so much, Dustin. Speaking of getting healthy, a staple in Wingate's community is well on his way to good health, thanks to a heart transplant. Town Commissioner John Mangum received a call May 19th about a possible match. Tests confirmed a transplant was possible, and Mangum underwent a 6-hour surgery. Kristen Johnson joins us now to update us on his progress. Kristen?
Jeff Mangum is still recovering in an area hospital. His daughter has been keeping the community up to date on his progress through social media, and others are receiving updates from Mangum's wife through text messages. Everyone knew going in that this was going to be a long road, but doctors are encouraged, and so is the community, that Mangum will be back and better than ever soon enough.
It was business as usual at the May 19th Wingate Town Hall meeting until Mayor Bill Braswell asked for public comment.
We opened it to anyone, and John, I think we had already approved the agenda, and John says, I would like to tell you what just happened.
Town Commissioner John Mangum tells the council he'd finally gotten the call from his doctor he'd been waiting 11 months to receive, the possibility of a new heart.
And I think I made the statement, said, John, you put everything else on the agenda in a different perspective. This is the important thing right now.
We last featured Mangum on Wingate Today after he underwent surgery to implant a pump to help his heart function until a donor could be found. We told you then about his dedication to the town, serving not only in his 5th term as town commissioner, but also for 47 years as a member of the Wingate Fire Department.
Doctor said I was sicker on the inside than I appeared from the outside.
It took doctors about 6 hours to complete the heart transplant, and the community has been following Mangum's progress every step of the way thanks to updates posted almost daily on social media from his family. In a Facebook post in early June, Mangum's daughter writes about a minor setback as her father is put back on a ventilator to help him breathe easier. She writes, "He is such a fighter, and I'm so ready to hear that sweet voice of his." Dozens of people respond with comments, likes, and shares to every post.
We would like John Mangum for as long as we could keep him in our town. It's and the possibility of having a higher quality of life, we're excited for him.
For the next month, doctors will do tests to make sure there are no signs of rejection. So far, though, no problems, and Mangum's family is just asking for continued prayers. Jeff?
Thanks, Kristen. Here's a number for you. In the United States, healthcare spending last year totaled about $3 billion. That's billion with a B. Sharon Foote joins us now. Sharon, that's a lot of money we're spending.
Definitely, healthcare is big business. And that mix of medicine and business is the specialty of one professor at Wingate University.
Cheryl Walker McGill started as a medical doctor, then she got her MBA. And now this adjunct professor teaches at Wingate University about the business of providing health care.
We talk about health care costs, who pays, how much is paid in the United States, where we've been and where we're going with that. We talk about access to care.
Dr. Walker McGill teaches at Wingate's Graduate School of Business. Her students are at the Ballantyne campus and in Hendersonville through the two-way TV system called Polycom. She can talk to you like a physician. She can also explain referrals and copays like a business expert, but her true focus is the patient.
At the end of the day, that's what it's all about. It's about that clinical, it's about the reach out and touch to the patients. And so we want to make sure that the processes that are in place are efficient, effective, caring, and certainly help us to achieve our mission of improving health and health care for the patients that we serve.
Dr. Walker McGill says healthcare's mission is not helped by political blustering or by blaming others.
No matter where you are in healthcare, that sometimes there's a lot of finger pointing, and it's their responsibility, or it's their problem, or it's their fault.
In Dr. Walker McGill's classroom, students studying health professions and studying business work together to solve the complex problems of healthcare.
We've just made it very, very complicated, and my hope is that as time moves forward, there's more collaboration between the clinical side of medicine and the business side of medicine.
Last fall, Dr. Walker McGill was elected president of the North Carolina Medical Board, which oversees licensing and disciplinary action of doctors and physician assistants. She calls it her highest honor, but she says one of her greatest joys is teaching Wingate's healthcare systems management class.
I have to say that one of the most rewarding experiences here in Charlotte has been my time with Wingate.
Great professor. Sharon, how did this program come about?
Well, this is actually part of the Wingate Master of Business Administration program. The MBA program actually has 6 different concentrations. Healthcare management was the first of those 6, started in 2010 out of a need that was voiced by the marketplace. Obviously, the need for business people who understand healthcare is increasing.
Thanks, Sharon. The chemistry and physics department got a new baby they're mighty proud of. They showed her off at an open house recently. Her name is Abby. She's a gas chromatography mass spectrometer, an instrument that helps analyze volatile and semi-volatile chemicals.
It's very akin to getting a chemical fingerprint. So it allows you to take unknown mixtures, separate them, and then identify the components of the mixture.
The department's been without a GC Mass Spectrometer since an older one died about 2 years ago. Faculty members say bringing this back online is invaluable to the work they and students do. And finally here, returning to commencement, there was an especially poignant moment at the end of the ceremony that caught a lot of people's attention.
Precious memory.
It's a tradition to end the graduation exercises with the old hymn, Precious Memories. As music professor Dr. John Blizzard sang, you could see President McGee reflecting on his 23 years. We asked him what was going through his mind.
I was just thinking about this place and looking at the beauty of it and the wonderful people I've been privileged to work with, and seeing the aspiration in the eyes of our students, and it just kind of makes it all worthwhile.
And that's our show for this time. I'm Jeff Atkinson. Thanks for watching.